Over here to eat my snack. It's really gonna be probably my only food today, or at least for 12 hours. And when I pull it in, you can see when I came around the corner, it was like I was right here. But instead of parking right there in front of that, I parked to the side at an angle, right? Instead of parking right in front of that. And as I was sitting here eating, I was thinking about this. I was thinking, why did I do that? And notice the color of that in the color. So if I would have parked right here where I couldn't see out in the perspective out there, the hologram, I would have just been, it would have been gray rock, right? I'd have had a gray rock. I would have had no stimuli coming into my eye gate. So I parked at an angle. And as I was thinking about this, I don't know why this came to my mind, but I looked over there at those boxes, those gray boxes, those gray air conditioning units, and this pipe here is kind of a grayish color, and this is a gray, all similar colors. And I was thinking, okay, I was thinking back about Disney has created a color green that people ignore. These things are painted this way because you don't pay attention to them. If they were painted like a red or a blue or something like that, you would pay attention to them. So the universe is giving you a message. The hologram is teaching you something. Now they tell you when dealing with a narcissist, the best way is the gray rock method, right? The narcissist is always trying to provoke you and get a response, but when you do the gray rock, there's nothing that bounces back. So if I would have just parked right in front of that, that would have been kind of abnormal, because we want stimuli. We want something hitting us, our eye gate. That's just why we're here. And gray is the middle between black and white. Disney created a color that people don't pay attention to. The city, whether they know it or not, they're using these gray boxes. The phone company, they're using these gray colors because you don't pay attention to it. It doesn't draw your attention. It's just, you don't even think about it. What is that? What is that? People don't even. I've been around people enough in my life where, see, I work with the phone company, so I pay attention to this stuff because I used to work with the phone company. And I know that a lot of this stuff is communication wires. But they want a box that doesn't draw your attention. They painted this red because it's probably a water line for fire. It's probably a high pressure water line. I don't know, but that's probably what it is. Looks like it is. Okay, so notice that gray on that. Notice the gray on that gas line. Notice the green. There's part of that green. If they painted it a little bit off green, you wouldn't. Notice the green trash cans and the brown. Notice the silver / grayish color on these boxes. So you don't even pay attention to it. Notice the gray pole there. Notice the gray conduit line. You don't even pay the conduit line on that pole right there. You don't even pay attention. You see the pole, but you don't see the conduit. Why? Well, gray is the word. Gray in the hologram means confluence or flow. It means it's a conduit. It's a transmission. It means to convey. Conveyance, convey. That's why the gray alien, people see gray aliens, because they're fallen angels, right? They were messengers, because the color gray is to convey a message. I'm sitting here trying to think of the object lesson behind why you don't want to sit in front of something that's gray. So if you do the gray rock method to a narcissist, the reason the narcissist wants drama, because they're dead, right? They're dead inside, so they got to create drama, because that's why they do the they do the duper's delight, because they have nothing else. They got to do something like that to be alive. They don't feel alive, so they have to dupe you to feel alive. That's the narcissist for you. And so you do the gray rock method, they're not getting any kind of response from you, because that's what life is, some kind of response. They're trying to hit you to get some kind of weird response to upset you, because that's how they feel alive, because they're dead inside. Anyway, long story short, the reason I didn't park in front of that gray box, because it doesn't give me any stimuli to the eye gate. That's the only thing I can figure. This is something I'm really going to think about and meditate on, because it's pretty interesting, to be honest with you. Really interesting. Let's go down this road here for a second, see what colors stand out. So notice, I didn't even pay attention to that. Normally I just didn't pay attention to this basketball thing out in the street, and it's black. The only thing that you really notice about it is the rim, the red rim. And you notice that fence. You don't really notice that house is behind that fence. You don't really notice that color. You don't really notice that color. So but you notice that red roof before you notice the house, right? So certain shapes, symbols, and colors draw your attention. It's kind of like a perception filter. So like these boxes here, if they were clean, if they cleaned off the mold and the mildew, you wouldn't even notice those boxes. Just because they got mold and mildew, you notice it. It's a perception filter. And we all have a perception filter. When I was doing electrical estimating, I would go in a building, I would look up at all the lighting in the building. But now I don't even look up at the lighting, because that's not what I do every day. It's all a perception filter, what you're paying attention to, what you're familiar with. And that's probably why they talk about familiar spirits when it comes to the witches and the Wiccans and all that. It's what they're familiar with. I think I might rent that just to see how it rides. Your perception filter is a real thing. And your subconscious is real, and the actions that you do that you don't even know that you're doing, it's a real thing. Your body language reveals everything. What stands out? Why does it stand out? Like that walkway stands out more than that shed over the car, you know? What stands out? Why does it stand out? Excuse me. Why? I don't know why I'm talking funny all of a sudden. I think it's because I ate some sugar. What stands out? Why it stands out? Now I got this car following me. Look at this. This guy in this truck's following me. What stands out? Why it stands out? What it's saying to you. I guess they were trying to see where I was going to park, see where I lived. By a Freemason. I turned the tables on him. Why did he follow me around the block? What's their game? I'm just showing you a new way of thinking, a new way of observing the hologram. Why do certain things stand out? Shapes, symbols, colors, body language. What is it trying to tell you? What does it mean? What does this symbol, what kind of emotional response does that shape give you, send to you? What kind of message are you getting from this intersection? This intersection is giving you some kind of message. What is it? What is your routine telling you? Everything's talking to you. Everything's a word. Everything's symbolic of something deeper. Look at all them trees over there. If you can step into a new way of thinking right now, you'll never be the same, because you'll never look at life the same. What is the feeling that you get here? When you go in that building over there, what's the atmosphere? What's the atmosphere of this neighborhood? I don't really like this neighborhood. I got stuck here for some reason. There's very few neighborhoods that I get a good vibe out of, though. Even some of the nice, rich neighborhoods, they just don't have the vibe. I think the vibe that I'm looking for is you got a wide open space with some parks to go sit and meditate or something, which I haven't done in a long time, but it would be nice to have some open space around you. Still be in the city for get all your needs met if you need to go to the hospital or whatever, but have some open space inside the city, you know? Like this wall here. This wall should give you a good feeling in the middle of a bunch of bad vibes. Look at this. Now look how nice that is. But surrounded by a bunch of bad vibes. And if you understand what I'm saying, your whole worldview, if you really meditate on it, your whole worldview is going to change. And then you can start to look at body language. You can start to look at the reflections that are happening on the outside, and you can actually decode yourself. Look at that bamboo fence around their deck. That's pretty cool. You can decode yourself by looking at your environment, looking at the people you hang out with. Birds of a feather flock together for a reason. So if you look at the people that you're drawn to, that tells you who you are. The kind of people that you're drawn to tells you something about your inner self, you know? Are you repelled by the legalist? Are you drawn to the legalist? Are you repelled by the Jezebel? Are you drawn to the Jezebel? You can be introspective by seeing the response that it generates inside. People say, don't profile me. Well, you better profile yourself. It's harder to do. That's why you need the outside stimulus to help you be introspective and profile your own self and make some changes that need to be changed. Make the changes and watch the change. Make the changes and watch the change appear on the outside. Make the changes and watch the change. It has to happen. It has to appear.